Hi everyone, welcome to my podcast, Bringing On. We're live tonight and a special Bringing On podcast talking about Wrestlemania coming up tomorrow night. And I'm very excited about the show. I know a lot of people have been complaining about the build-up not being the best. Of course, I agree. It hasn't been the best build-up in years, but I guarantee you that the stars are lined up for a great pay-per-view. And I think that the build-up is not as important as what's going to happen once the bell rings. And you can have the best build-up in the world, but if, the superstars fail to deliver once the bell rings, all the build-up in the world won't mean nothing. So to me, the most important part of the show is the matches tomorrow night, and it's going to feature, probably, star-studded lineup, but also, guys that we haven't seen in a long time, like The Undertaker. Undertaker's going to be there. I can't wait to see, the shape he's in. Of course, he's getting older. He turned 50, but he still has a lot of mileage left. I think that once a year he can still deliver on the big stage. And that's probably the match, that I'm looking forward to the most besides the main event, because I think that Taker still has a few good matches left in him. I think that he's going to wrestle next year. He's going to be in Texas, his own state, and I think a match with Sting or maybe a match with another guy from the roster could be a possibility. But tomorrow night against Bray Wyatt, it's going to be an epic match, and it's going to be a great opportunity for Bray, to show that he's now, he reached that level, that he can now, play with the big boys. And last year, he faced John Cena. It was a pretty good match, but it was a bit of a letdown because I expected more from the match. And but this year, it's I wouldn't say sink or swim, but I would think that it would be a big opportunity for him to prove that he's now part of the guys, that can go to get a brass ring when Vince was talking about, earlier this year on Steve Austin's podcast, and I totally agree with that. And there's not a lot of guys, on the roster right now that can really reach that brass ring. There's a few of them, and Bray is one of those guys, and I'm pretty sure that he can do it. It's just a matter of time for him, timing, and the fact that he hasn't wrestled much in the past few months. It's a great thing. I think it's a good thing, in terms of keeping him to minimum on stage, and just to keep his character growing each week. And it's not easy, to keep building a feud by yourself when the other guy doesn't show up. And so it's all on him. The feud, the match itself, it's all on Bray, and he's done a terrific job of building the match. And the new face of fear, I totally agree with that. I think that Bray is the new face of fear, is the guy that's going to be able to go on to bigger and better things, and the best way to do it is to have a good match at WrestleMania against The Undertaker. I don't see, it's pretty hard to, to go, oh, who's going to win this match? I think, I still go with Taker. I still think that Undertaker is going to win, but the way the match plays out play a major role in, going forward for Bray. I think that it could be like a good 20-minute match, a lot of psychology. The entrance itself will be absolutely amazing, and the match will probably be one of the last matches because they don't want to do it in broad daylight. Of course, they're going to wait till, it's nighttime before they can come out, and the Fireflies for Bray and, the Druids and everything for Taker. So it's going to be a very spectacular entrance for sure. Like it is every year for Undertaker. I don't know if he's going to come down to the ring to the same theme song, or he's going to come out to a different team this time around, maybe Johnny Cash song that that we've heard recently during some of the promos. So it's always cool, to talk about Taker this time of the year. It just shows that a few years down the road when he's not going to be there, we're going to think about back in those days, and it's going to be like, oh my God, I miss so much, having Taker on the card. It's not the same without him. And it's true, it's not the same without Taker. It wouldn't be the same without Taker, but I'm sure that he's going to be there next year for another go-round, and hopefully this year is going to be one of the best matches on the card. And, my heart goes with Bray, but my head goes with Taker on this one. So I think it's going to be like a pretty good match, and better than last year against Brock, because, he was knocked out early in the match. He had a concussion like about 2 minutes in, and it was just a matter of manning up for him. Just standing up must be very hard from last year, because he was, I don't know if you've ever have a concussion, but I did. I have a few playing hockey, and it's, usually you don't remember much. And I remember the second he left the ring, he texted Shawn Michaels saying him, I don't know what hit me, was it a train or something, but that was amazing, just for him to be able to stand up and finish the match, especially against a guy like Brock, who's such a physical guy. But against Bray, it's going to be a different kind of match. I think they can maybe have the same kind of match that maybe the year before he had with Triple H. Not a lot of stalling, but a lot of, playing up the crowd and the spider walk. I can't wait to see, the psychology that they're going to use during the match. I think they can go good 20 minutes. And it's going to be great effort on both guys. I'm no doubt about it. Another match, that is really interesting to me is the Under the Giant Battle Royal. And now I know it's been moved to the pre-show. Maybe for fear of having, to cut down matches like they had to do last year with the Shield against Road Dogg and the New Age Outlaws, and Kane. And they probably didn't want to have the same thing happen this year, so they probably moved the match to the pre-show. It's a shame because, I think Under the Giant, is synonymous to WrestleMania, and to have the match on the pre-show kind of... Is it really officially a WrestleMania match? I mean, when you go back in years, you look at the Mania matches, you never talk about the pre-show matches. So it's kind of like taking the match out of WrestleMania in a way. The same thing with the Usos. We have probably been the most entertaining and, the most... the most dependable guys on the roster for the past year and a half. So to have them wrestle on the pre-show. Also, it's a knock to the tag team division that I know they've been working kind of hard to bring back from the ashes. And they have pretty good teams right now with the Ascension and Cesaro and Kid. Don't get me started on Los Matadores and those guys. Like the New Day. I was just watching this afternoon Money in the Bank from last year with Kofi, and I'm like, oh my God, Kofi Kingston, the most misused guy on the roster, extraordinary athlete. I wish that Kofi could have more exposure. But now he's in New Day. That's okay. It's better than nothing. It's better than being, without a job or being on the Indies. But I think that Kofi deserves a lot more. So at least he's going to wrestle on the pre-show. But I just think, that in this case, probably Cesaro and Kid will retain the title. As far as the Under the Giant Battle Royal, it's pretty hard. A lot of people are saying, I think Damien Mizdow. I think Miz is going to cost him the match. What I think would be a pretty good thing would be for Ryback to win it. Ryback is on a roll right now. He deserves to be on the WrestleMania card. Very disappointed for him not to be on the main card, but I think that winning the Under the Giant Battle Royal could be like a first stepping stone for him to go back on the main event scene if Roman Reigns. Anyway, we'll get to that later, but I think he's going to be a good fit against either Brock or Roman Reigns. He's a great athlete. And, if I had to say the most, the guy that's made the most improvement over the past year, I would say that the big guy, really did it. When you look at him a year and a half ago compared to where he is right now, he's way ahead of the curve, and he's worked very, very hard, to build his character, and his set moves is pretty good. I think he's probably deserving of a main event run after WrestleMania. So I would think the Under the Giant Battle Royal, I would go with the big guy. I would go with Ryback, and I think the Miz and Mizdow is going to play out, and it's going to, probably break down to finally Mizdow to turn on the Miz. And that would be great, because, Mizdow is insanely popular right now, insanely popular. And I know that a lot of people are really behind him. I really think that it's true. He deserves a lot of credit for the way he turns out, the performances that he's done, and the way the crowd has been behind him. It's incredible. But when you consider everything, you can't take away the fact that it's because he's been with The Miz. And I think The Miz deserves a lot of credit for the way he's handled also the everything about Miz, how the way he's treated him. And I think that The Miz is very underrated, a very great character. And I think that his newest character, the Hollywood Miz, is the best that he's had since coming to the roster. And I think he deserves a lot of credit. And he doesn't get the credit, that he should have for what is happening right now because without Miz, there's no Mizdow, right? That's what I think. I think that if you take the Miz out of the equation, there's not necessarily, probably Mizdow would still be doing his every week, dressing up as somebody else, or, he'd still be over, but not as much as he is right now. So I really give a lot of credit to the Miz. And I'm sure that a few years down the road, Mizdow becomes big, or he gets to reach a certain point on the roster, that he has never reached up to this point. He's going to be able to credit The Miz and admit that The Miz played a big part on his journey to relevancy in the WWE. So other guys, on the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, that I hope are going to get a good rub on the match and get a good exposure is Curtis Axel. I really love Curtis Axel. I love the guy. I love the character. I love the wrestler. Just the fact that Brock Lesnar and The Rock, when they were preparing to come back to the ring, they choose him to train with. It tells you a lot about his talent as a wrestler. I know that now we're talking more about entertainers, but now he's entertaining, right, with the Axelmania gimmick and everything. So I think it's a start of something pretty good for Curtis Axel. I'm not saying that main event push, but I think that a good mid-card push could be in the works for him, and I really like him, and I hope that, it could be one of the last guys standing in the ring tomorrow in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Fandango, I think that repackaging could be in the works for him. Adam Rose, I don't really care. Zack Ryder, he's still insanely popular with the crowd being, the way he's been treated is absolutely incredible, to still get a reaction from the way he's been treated by the writing team. Kudos to him, Zach, keep driving, keep working hard and keep doing the things you do, dude, you're very cool and I really appreciate your work. Same thing with Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger is an incredible wrestler, and I think he's going to get a good showing in the match tomorrow. Big Show Kane, can't stand him anymore. Eric Rowan, probably, I don't understand, I think that coming back with Luke Harper could mean the works after WrestleMania. If I was writing the show, I would bring them back together as a monster heel tag team. I really like Eric Rowan, but right now as a babyface, it's not working. Sin Cara, good athlete, probably better off with in the tag team division as he is right now. A very good wrestler. Heath Slater, enjoy him, but basically, there's nothing much left for Heath right now. There's it's a one-man band, it's relegated to superstars, but he's a good worker. Mark Henry, it's the same thing with Big Show and Kane, a lot of respect for him, but, I think it's time for him to go and retire. Con and Victor, I don't get it. The Ascension, extraordinary good young tag team. Nobody confuses them for the next, Demolition or Legion of Doom. But, please don't let them become the next Powers of Pain. I mean, those guys are very good. And I don't know what's the point of trying to bury them like JBL has been doing. But these guys are good. Let them grow. Let them, get a reaction from the crowd. They're good workers, big guys. And I think they're going to get a good showing tomorrow. And, hopefully if they bring a few guys from NXT in the match, I would hope it would be Finn Balor, but maybe wait to bring Finn Balor into something more important. Maybe a guy like Itami or Tyler Breeze that I really, really like in NXT, probably one of the most over guys in NXT and the most underrated guys on NXT. Great wrestler. So I would go for Tyler Breeze in the match. I would go for it. If I had to bring a guy from NXT, I would probably bring Tyler Breeze in the match tomorrow night. And two other guys, I really like Titus O'Neil and Darren Young, primetime players. Hopefully tomorrow they're going to get a good showing in the Battle Royal, but I don't think they're going to win it. But I would love for Titus to have a big push. and that would be great. But like I said before, I think Ryback is going to win the match tomorrow night. So that's my prediction. After that, we get to the main card. We have, the IC ladder match. That's probably going to be the show stealer, in my opinion, in terms of talent in the ring. You got guys like Bad News Barrett, R-Truth, Dean Ambrose, Luke Harper, Dolph Ziggler, Stardust, Daniel Bryan. Maybe, I'm just saying maybe a returning Sheamus. That would be incredible. To have Sheamus cost Daniel Bryan a match with a bro kick, have him turn heel. I really like Sheamus. He's a tremendous wrestler. I think that, bringing him back as a heel would be a good decision because he's a tremendous athlete. And I think that the feud with Daniel Bryan would be like the feud part 3. Daniel as a face, Sheamus as a heel, to have them feud and have long, good matches like they can would be incredible. But tomorrow night, my heart is going with Dolph Ziggler as the winner. I really love the show off. I think he's the absolutely most amazing athlete on the roster. The guy that has been the go-to guy for the past 3 or 4 years. Every match he's in, he steals the show. He's the best at selling with Seth Rollins. He's tremendous. His offense has grown leaps and bounds from years ago. He's probably the most natural gifted athlete on the roster. So my heart goes with Ziggler, but my head goes with the lunatic fringe. I think Dean Ambrose, and my heart also because these are 2 of my top 3 guys in the roster with Roman Reigns. I really love Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is absolutely amazing. I just think that the IC belt would be a great thing for him, to elevate that title. They really want to elevate the house shows, with the IC belt and the US title. So Dean Ambrose as the IC champion would be a great way to do it. Of course, Daniel Bryan would also be a good thing to do, but Daniel Bryan, I know that a lot of people are saying that WWE is kind of scared that he's get re-injured his neck or his elbow. Are they going to go that way or, leave him a little bit in limbo? Because Daniel Bryan is only one swerve or, one match away from going back to the main event against either Brock, Cena, or Roman Reigns, So I think it's a little bit below Daniel Bryan to have the IC belt at this point in his career right now. So I would go with Dean. For Dean, it would be a good, waiting kind of curve between now and the main event spot that he deserves to be in, because there's only 1 or 2 places on those main event slots. Unfortunately, you can't have all the guys, battling in 5-on-5 main event matches at every pay-per-view. So you're going to have to, to switch between those guys, between Dean and Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan. That's what a lot of people don't really understand. You can't have all those guys, being in the main event at the same time, which would be incredible. But unfortunately, there's only like 5 or 6 or 7 matches on a pay-per-view every month. So I think that Dean would be a good fit for the IC belt. If I had to go with a swerve, maybe having Bad News Barrett retaining the title after everything he's went through. I'm afraid I got some bad news, but since he's won the IC belt, I think he's 0-37. My God, he's lost every single match that he's been in. I think he won a match against Sin Cara 3 months ago. That's about it. That's incredible. A bad way to treat your champion. But at least, now they're trying to get back and give the IC belt more prestige. And it's about time, because that title, was, I remember when I was younger, the best matches was always being done by the IC the IC champion, whether it was Mr. Perfect, Bret Hart, or Shawn Michaels, or, all those guys, Randy Macho Man Savage, Ricky Steamboat. There were a few guys like the Honky Tonk Man and stuff like that, but yet Rick Rude as a IC champ. A lot of great guys. And so, I would think that to have Bad News retaining the title would be kind of a surprise and upset. And a good thing also because he's a very good wrestler, very good on the mic. But I'm still leaning towards Dean, the Lunatic Fringe, winning the match. Stardust, Luke Harper, I don't think they stand a chance, but they'll be good additions to the match. I like Luke Harper, like I said before, monster heel, probably the best big man, between now and Big Show, Kane, and Mark Henry, going the way of the, getting closer to retire. You need big guys on the roster. So Eric Rowan and Luke Harper are those guys, and I think the future is bright with these two guys. They're incredible in the ring, very good characters, and I think Luke Harper is going to be a major surprise in the match tomorrow night. He's going to do a great showing like he always does, and I wouldn't be surprised for him to be the star of the match, even though he's not going to win, but to steal the show. So there's going to be an incredible match. So now we're moving on to Rusev and John Cena. I'm very excited about this match, and hopefully Rusev is going to win. John Cena doesn't need to win the U.S. title. Doesn't need to win at WrestleMania. He's done it before. He's at his WrestleMania moment, and I think it's time for him to kind of start passing up the torch to younger guys. And if you want to have, guys ready for the main event spot, you need to have them win from time to time. And Rusev is on a roll, and I think that his first defeat should go more to a younger guy on the roster. Maybe Dolph Ziggler could be the guy to hand Rusev's streak, or maybe Daniel Bryan, or maybe even a guy like Finn Balor could be the first guy to pin Rusev. I think John Cena doing it at WrestleMania, patriotic crowd. I don't know. I really love John. I respect him. I think it's going to be an incredible match. Again, my heart goes with Rusev, but I think that, they're going to go John Cena. So my prediction would be John Cena winning the U.S. title. Maybe have Lana kind of screw Rusev, or interfere or do something that's going to cause the match for Rusev, and then have kind of at least an excuse for Rusev to say why he lost the match. That would be something pretty interesting. But, with John Cena, we know what to expect. We know there's going to be a good match. It's not going to be 5-star match. It's going to be a pretty good match. Rusev can go. I think it's a big test for Rusev, to at least be able to have a match that won't, have the crowd, be like, oh my God, is it over? So really, hopefully, Rusev can carry on and bring a good match out of John Cena. And we know John Cena is going to carry his hand. And John Cena is always good when he's got a good opponent in front of him. John is not that good to bring out the best out of somebody else. John will have 5-star matches against guys like CM Punk, against guys like Daniel Bryan. He's going to have great matches against guys like that, or Dolph Ziggler. But it's pretty tough for John at this point in his career to bring the best out of somebody that can carry his end of the bargain. And I think Rusev can and will tomorrow night, and it's going to be a good match. So I'm very excited about the match, and hopefully Rusev's going to win, but I'm thinking Cena will. I don't know about you, but you can, comment on Twitter and tell me what you think about the picks, and tell me yours. That's the fun thing about wrestling, we're always right until the bell rings, right? Exactly. And another match I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night, Icon versus Icon. Sting against Triple H. I think the build-up of this match is probably the best build-up of the entire card. But unfortunately, like I said before in the beginning of the podcast, all the build-up in the world can't, you have to live up to the build-up, but you have to carry on once the bell rings. I just don't see that match becoming that much of a classic, but I think that the image of them standing in the ring, the baseball bat, and the, Triple H, the sledgehammer, I think it's going to be very, cool in terms of the entrance, the psychology of the match. I don't think that action-wise is going to be that good, but I think it's going to be a match that won't sting the crowd and that people will remember. And I'm thinking about 3-star match. I'm thinking, that Sting could and probably will win the match, even though my heart goes with Triple H. He's been there, and his record at WrestleMania is terrible. I think he's like 5-12 at Mania. But I think Sting is going to win, especially if they want to do Sting against Taker next year. So hopefully it's going to be a good match. Hopefully. But, we'll see tomorrow night. Another match, I really, really look forward to Randy Orton, the Viper, against Seth Rollins, Mr. Money in the Bank. Wow, the build-up of the match has been pretty good, but, this is a match that didn't and won't need any build-up, in my opinion. You have probably two of the best workers in the WWE right now, and these guys are absolutely amazing. In terms of wrestling, psychology, these guys are incredible, totally incredible. And I would think that, again, my heart goes with Seth Rollins. My head goes with Randy Orton. And it's basically like that. I've been thinking about that crowd, that card. And I'm like, my God, almost all the matches I'm pretty sure, the ending of, but I wish it was different. I wish in this match they would go with the future of the WWE, Seth Rollins, because I think Seth is going to be the biggest star on the roster for the next 10 years. He's going to be a multiple-time WWE World Champion. He's absolutely amazing in the ring, incredible on the mic. He looks good. He talks good. He's an incredible performer. And Randy Orton, has been to the top of the mountain like already 12 times. He's an incredible wrestler, passing the torch. Too young to pass the torch, but could go either way. Hopefully it's going to be an extraordinary match. I think it's going to be a 5-star match. Might be the match of the night. And in terms of action, no doubt about it. We're going to see a lot of stuff. Maybe a RKO, out of nowhere. Again, to end the match, but hopefully it's going to be like I said before, a 5-star match between two extraordinary wrestlers. And my heart goes with Seth Rollins. I really hope that he's going to steal a show and win. But again, I think that Randy Orton is going to go and win the match. So basically, the Diva match, I don't care. And AJ Lee and Paige against the Bella Twins. So my heart goes with neither of them, and my head says, screw the match and keep the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal in the main card and throw this, to the pre-show. But, I ain't writing. I'm not part of creative. So I think the Bella Twins are going to win or whatever. Then the main event, we go with Brock Lesnar, the Beast, against the Juggernaut, Roman Reigns. Wow, I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, Roman Reigns, what has he done, and everybody, I just can't believe, that just before the Rumble, everybody was behind Roman Reigns. Everybody was behind Roman Reigns. That cool, big-looking dude, that Juggernaut, the Beast, and then, then Daniel Bryan didn't win the Royal Rumble, so now we all kind of turn on him. So now it becomes the popular thing to do. So you see people who were rooting for him 3 months ago now are, like, oh, Roman sucks, and stuff like that. And basically, hardcore cities like LA or, Chicago or probably here in Montreal in a few months when they come here. But, it's totally unfair because I don't think that Roman is getting anything he doesn't deserve. It's been there's nothing about being put in the main event slot. You have to earn it. And the only way to earn it is to prove to Vince McMahon and Triple H that you can carry the company. And they've been waiting for 12 years for somebody else to be able to do it. And they know John Cena is turning 37 years old, and he can't do it for the next 10 years. They need somebody to carry the WWE, to be the face of the WWE for the next 10 years. And they need more than one guy. They have Seth Rollins, they have Dean Ambrose, they have Bray Wyatt, they have a lot of guys. But, Roman Reigns, I think, has got everything you need in terms of being able to carry the WWE towards the future. And it's totally unfair, the way he's been treated. But at the same time, that's okay. That's okay. I understand that. And I can live with that. No problem. But it just the way he's been treated, on Twitter also is a lot of people, saying that's okay, as long as he delivers tomorrow night, that's what matters. I think that tomorrow night is do or die for Roman. I think that if he doesn't deliver a good match, I think it could be very hard for him to get back to the main event scene. They might even compare his push to the one Lex Luger had years ago, unfortunately. And I really, really, really hope that he's going to be able to deliver a great performance tomorrow night against Brock, because we know what Brock brings to the table, right? We know that Brock is going to be there, being a destroyer. He's going to be kicking ass and delivering suplexes. And so we know what Brock brings to the table. Now it's time for Roman to show that he can, play with the big boys. And he's had an incredible match against Daniel Bryan at the last pay-per-view. This time around, it's going to be against Roman Reigns. So against Brock Lesnar. It's totally different animal, totally different kind of match. It's going to be like JR said, slobber knocker. Can he do it? I think he can. Will he do it? We'll see tomorrow night. But my heart goes with Roman Reigns, and my head this time around goes with Roman Reigns too. I think they're going to stick to their guns, and that was the plan from the get-go. And do you let a few crowds, dictate the future of the company? No. How they're going to do it? Well, that's the most interesting part about it, because I think they could have Paul Heyman. He's been golden on the mic, absolutely incredible on the mic. They could have Paul Heyman turn against Brock Lesnar. Why not? They could even have, Roman winning the match, and then once he's done in the ring, totally spent, tired after 25 grueling minutes against the Beast, could have Brock doing another F5, and then you could have Seth Rollins coming in, cash in, and win the title, which would be another great way to end the show, right? To have Seth cashing in and coming out of WrestleMania as the WWE champion. If he loses against Randy Orton, then you have your next feud, Orton, Rollins. Then you could have Roman Reigns mixed up into that in triple threat matches. There's a lot of possibilities to go from there. I think there's a lot of ways you can go about this match, but I wouldn't be surprised. Everything is possible, to have Brock, since they just re-signed him for 3 years. If they want to erase CM Punk from the W record book, they want to have Brock keep the title for longer than CM Punk had it. Well, you could have Brock retaining the title. Maybe have The Rock cost Roman Reigns a match if you want to prepare next year's WrestleMania. Roman Reigns maybe against The Rock. You could have The Rock, trying to help his cousin, but causing him to lose. There's a lot of ways you could go about this match without making anybody look bad, without protecting both guys, because I don't think you can have one totally trashing the other one, which wouldn't make any sense. And so I hopefully, it's going to be a good match and an ending that leaves both guys looking strong, because you need to look forward to after WrestleMania, and it goes right the Raw after WrestleMania, which is probably the best Raw, of the year, the hottest crowd of the year every year, and maybe wait the Raw after WrestleMania for Seth Rollins to cash in successfully or unsuccessfully. Maybe I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities to do it. And hopefully WrestleMania is going to be a very good show, like I hope it will. And I know it can be a good show. Just by looking at the crowd, you have a lot of good matches. You have, the best wrestlers on the roster, on the card. Like I said before, it's unfortunate that the Andre the Giant Battle Royal has been moved to the pre-show. I would have loved to stay on the, on the main card. But, we're not the ones, if they realize that they have to cut the match maybe to 5 minutes, then I'd rather have it on a pre-show and then go for 20, 25 minutes than have it to do a 5-minute battle royal like they did on Raw about 2 weeks ago. Makes everybody looks bad. And so hopefully tomorrow WrestleMania is going to be like it always is, the best night of the year for me, best night of the year for a lot of wrestling fans, and something to talk about a lot, in the upcoming months, what they should have done, why did Orton win, why didn't Seth? So that's the thing, because whether you choose Seth Rollins to win or Randy Orton, you're going to have 50% of the crowd being happy, another 50% being unhappy, because you can see it on Twitter, everybody has their own favorite wrestlers, everybody hopes for different endings, and you can't please everybody. But the best way to please the fans is to give them a great show, and hopefully tomorrow night, they're going to deliver and bring their A game to the table, like I know all the guys can, and I'm pretty sure they will. Hopefully tomorrow night, it will be one of the best WrestleManias of all time. Even though the build-up hasn't been the best, the matches could, compensate for it. And that's what my opinion is. And thank you for listening to the podcast. And I'll do another one probably Tuesday, to talk about WrestleMania and also about Raw Monday night, because it's always interesting. The Raw after WrestleMania is always very cool and very exciting and always full of action. And, returns. Maybe see the debut of Finn Balor. The return of Sheamus is going to be tomorrow night on the WrestleMania. They're going to wait on Raw the night after. A lot of surprises always, and a lot of excitement to come. So, don't miss tonight. WWE on WWE Network, is going to be the Hall of Fame ceremony. It's going to be very emotional because Randy Macho Man Savage is going to be inducted. And to me, I used to travel with the WWE wrestlers in Montreal. I used to drive them around in the 90s. And Randy was one of the nicest guys. I remember one night driving in from before the Bell Center, back then it was the Montreal Forum, to the hotel. And it was in the car with, if I remember correctly, I think it was Axa, Jim Duggan, and Owen Hart. And he was just sitting in the back, totally exhausted. And he had his knee was hurt. And he was just saying that, he couldn't wait to have a few days off. And, regular guy, very simple, very intense in the ring, and extraordinary man. I have a picture that I've tweeted today with him, in front of in Cornwall, in front of the arena. And I remember to this day, there were like 50 people. I've drove, I trained with Randy, but never asked for a picture because Randy didn't like to take pictures with people, but he took a picture with me, and it's still something that I cherish to this day. And very emotional talking about Randy because he's been my favorite wrestler with Bret Hart back in those days. Bret and him were my two favorite wrestlers, and Roddy Piper. And he was very intense, and he was a very special athlete, the kind of we'll never see again. We'll never see another Randy Macho Man Savage. And thankfully tonight he's going to be inducted, and he's going to be where he deserves to be, where he's always should have been, the WWE Hall of Fame, and, inducted by Hulk Hogan. And together they were the biggest stars of the 90s. And, thank you, Randy, for the memories, and hope you rest in peace, brother, and thank you for all the great matches. And tomorrow it's going to be WrestleMania Day here. We're going to listen to watch old WrestleMania matches, and every year we still watch. Randy against Rick Steamboat, Randy against Ted DiBiase, Randy against the Ultimate Warrior. So many great matches he had at WrestleMania. So many great memories. And also Rikishi, very happy, There's a lot of guys inducted tomorrow night, that every year, there's a lot of guys, like 8 guys inducted. So, of course, you're going to have bushwalkers and junkyard dogs and people like that. But, this year, Randy Savage, to me, that's what matters. The Macho Man in the Hall of Fame, where he deserved to be, where he always should have been. So thank you, Randy, and hopefully everybody's going to watch the Hall of Fame ceremony tonight, and WrestleMania tomorrow, and Raw Monday night. So it's a very exciting part of the year, and I'm going to tape Walking Dead. I mean, to miss Walking Dead, it takes a very special event, and the only thing that can make me miss Walking Dead is WWE WrestleMania. So can't wait to watch it tomorrow night, and thank you very much for everybody for your time on the podcast, and looking forward for next Wednesday. I got a podcast with Scott Tepperman, formerly of GHI, and Tim Mail, and we're going to talk about their new project called Undes. And it's going to be next Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. On my podcast, Bring It On. Thank you very much, everybody, for your time this afternoon. And looking forward to have you next Wednesday. All right. Thank you.